All right, now before we get in and we do some talking about Year of the Rat and everything, I want to, well, first of all, show everybody the Year of the Rat in all their glory, what they look like. And I want to take you guys through what's going on tonight. So how are you going to be able to score your Year of the Rats? So if you happen to be in Florida near a Corona Cigar location, by all means, just head over to Corona Cigar and pick some up. We got some deals going. But if not, we're going to have you go to the website, coronacigar.com, to score those. And I'm going to show you guys the deals right now. So if you're lucky enough to score some, and I know it's going to be a hot ticket, here's what we got going on tonight. And I'm going to keep kind of broadcasting these deals as we go. So I have, if you buy 10 cigars, so if you just buy a 10-pack, if you just buy your Year of the Rat, you're going to get a Liga ashtray, you're going to get a JDN 70, and a Fat Bottom Betty. So that's pretty stellar. But if you buy a box, here's what you're going to get. Now, you're not going to get your Liga ashtray, but you're going to get, this is 20 cigars or a box. You're going to get a Year of the Rat included. So everybody that buys a box tonight from Corona Cigar is going to get a amazing package with a Year of the Rat, a Herrera Habano Toro, an Acid 20 Robusto, and an Undercrown Maduro Grand Toro, as well as this incredible survival kit, which I'll show you later. And then lastly, if you buy a multi-box purchase, so this could be a 10 count box of Year of the Rats, it could be another 10-pack and then another box. That puts you at 40 cigars. You're going to get a Cigar lighter, a custom, well, that supplies last, a Year of the Rat lighter, and then all the things included in the swag pack. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the swag we got tonight. So first things first, there's in this survival kit, there's a Liga 9 knife. And this thing is sharp, baby. I've been opening up Amazon packages like it's my job during the quarantine. You're also going to get a Liga 9 flashlight. That's it doesn't come with batteries, but the batteries are cheap. You can get batteries. And it comes with this amazing Liga 9 backpack. So you buy a box of cigars, you're going to get this entire package while supplies last. And this is all the while supplies last stuff. And if you buy a multi-box, you're going to get everything that's in this swag kit, as well as this amazing Cigar custom joint. So that's incredible. So if you're joining us now in the webinar, in the Zoom room, or if you're live on Facebook, what you got to do is head to Corona Cigar to get your hands on these Year of the Rats. And these are going to be hot. I don't think that these are going to you guys at Corona are lucky to have them, but you're just kind of holding them for a brief moment while all your friends take them off. I think that's what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead.
Say we got them over at Sand Lake. We got them at Heathrow. We got them at downtown. We got them at the warehouse. But I got to tell you, my Facebook's been blowing up all day, or my messaging. Hey, when are these coming online? When are these coming online? So now's the time. Braden, hopefully the website will hold up and we'll get these things going.
So we have some people coming in. We have some confirmation. Some people have already got their orders in. So again, before we just talk about some of the amazing stuff Drew Estate and Corona's done together, if you want to order, coronacigar.com, and they have the packages on there as well. So JD, how are you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm doing great. This has been a long time in the making here in terms of bringing Year of the Rat out. It's had I guess a storied history as Liga Privada brand and front mark. And there's so many details, so many parts to it. And Corona Cigar Company has been part of our real entrance into cigars from the beginning. And then with Liga Privada, obviously a steward for us in bringing the brand nationwide. When we started with our original 52 retailers in the United States. So it's a long time coming for Year of the Rat. Everybody knows the Rat. I guess it's not a trilogy at this point anymore. What is it when it goes from trilogy to a four you know, this is really you had Dirty Rat, Ratzilla, Velvet Rat, and now kind of completing the other side of the coin is the Year of the Rat. And I think we're going to get into that more a little bit later, but super excited to have everybody with us tonight and to be doing this with Corona Cigar Company. I think it's a historic moment. So I'm really super duper excited about it, man. And the product is the product's a masterpiece. So it's really proud when you know you've created something that's exquisite and that, you know, So it's good. It's all good, man.
That's beautiful. Now we have a ton of people from both Corona and Drew Estate, and I want to get to everybody. But first, before we do that, I want to we have some Corona people live on site at different stores. So I'm going to start with Mr. Jeff Borysiewicz. Jeff, how's it going? Give us a flavor of what's going on in Sand Lake. You guys are open. What a beautiful site. Talk to us about it. Oh, we got you. You're muted. I need to unmute you. Hang on 1 second.
My man is smiling, like all sorts of smiles.
Well, it's a joyous occasion.
But I'm now you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So listen, I'm at the Sand Lake store. We've been really busy. I was out there, got the big old stack of stuff that we're giving out with all the Drew Estate, all the swag and everything else. A lot of customers coming in, but it's a little noisy. So I came in the back.
Yeah, we banned you. We said, hey, we'll save the partying for later.
I wanted to bring the vibe online. That's the whole idea of bridging the social gap. So things are getting back to normal here in Orlando, thank goodness. And people are coming out, smoking, and having a good time. So I'm here. Angel, where you're at downtown right now, right?
I'm at downtown right now. That is correct.
How's
He's
it going
in the
downtown, Angel?
So right now we have people outside enjoying the patio, in the store. I mean, they're buying cigars, smoking, having a drink or two. The rain right now is coming down, so it's raining cats and dogs. But they're still in here smoking.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Tanya, but if you can hear us, do you want to give us an update? You just gave me a look of like you. How's it going down at the warehouse?
We are pulling in these orders as I speak.
Oh my goodness, where they're flooding in
here. We're flooding in. I've got maybe about 20 since we've been online.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they're ordering everything here. They're ordering the rat. They're ordering some of the, my Uzi, weighs a ton.
Oh, great.
So, like Liga Privada, Papafitas. They're ordering everything. So right
They're
now,
ordering.
I'm gonna have my
Buy. This is not just
behind me, up and down.
That's great. This is not just not only is this a Year of the Rat launch, but if you want to score some of your favorite Drew Estate products with some killer swag, what a better time.
It's a great time to buy. Fantastic time to buy. And bear with us if the computers go down. It's because we're getting inundated with orders as I speak. They just keep coming.
Oh my
so
goodness!
I'm gonna go and give these guys a help.
You do that. You do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're having a lot more fun than Tanya and Braden are. This is for us. We're done. We're live. We're going. Those guys are in the trenches right now. Salute to the internet soldiers. Now, JD and Jeff, I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about your guys' kind of relationship, because this is not just a one-time thing. This kind of virtual event launch. This is not kind of a easy early partnership. We've been at this for a while, haven't we?
We have, but before I get to that, I want to make sure we got Tommy over here from Davidoff in Tampa. That's our Corona fortress over there.
Yeah.
So Tommy's over there, and we got Braden, who's up in Ohio, making sure that none of these circuits, these zeros and O's, get mixed up or have any kind of like, this is one of these Chinese Zoom things. So who knows, man? We could be getting intercepted right now. So he's making sure that that's all good there. So, and Garrick is hanging out here in Orlando. I think he's got the best position of all. He's in the backyard chilling.
I'm just hanging out.
Hey. Yeah,
Smoking Fsg, hanging out, having a good time.
Smart man.
So that's the distinguished roofie in there. So we appreciate it all. And no, John and I, man, we've known each other for a long time. And I just want to drill it back to when I first. John may have different memories of when we actually met, but I remember very specifically how we met, and it's kind of a crazy story. But I was in Esteli, Nicaragua, and I want to say it was about 1998, maybe 1999. And I was it's when Nick Perdomo was just building his factory in Esteli. He was in an area where Nicaragua was different back then. It's not like it is now. It was not nearly as advanced. And so when you take a flight to Nicaragua, you kind of cross your fingers that your luggage would show up when you arrived in Managua. And unfortunately, my luggage did not show up. And so back then, what's called the Pan American Highway it was under construction. So there was like no bridges in certain areas, and it took about 3.5 to 4 hours on a good day, and sometimes 6 or 7 hours on a bad day to get there. So anyway, fast forward, I'm sitting up in Esteli, Nicaragua. Back then, there was no paved roads either, so you got really dirty when you were there. So you'd have, no matter what, you got covered in like this red dust and dirt. So I'm over all sweaty and dirty at Nick Perdomo's factory, and John walks in, and I don't know. Somehow he hears that I don't have any clothes. My luggage didn't make it. So I didn't know John from Adam. I knew about him, but I didn't know him. And John goes, hey man, you look about my size. I'll send someone over with a bag of clothes for you. And sure enough, about an hour later, I think it was Jesse or somebody came with a backpack full of clean clothes. And I really appreciated that, because otherwise for 3 days, I was going to be wearing the same underwear. Man, that's.
You can't risk that in Nicaragua, man, especially.
Exactly, right? So here I was. I was appreciative to do it. I kind of looked like John. John always dressed a little weird, and so I'm wearing some crazy shorts and some crazy shirt and stuff. But I was so glad to wear it, and that's actually how John and I first met. And it was sort of a real quick symbol of, John didn't have to send me a bag of clothes. He knew it. I don't know if he knew I was or not, but anyway, it was a kind gesture. It was a quick thing. Hey, let me go help you out, because so anyway, that's how John and I started. We're about the same age. Our companies are about the same age as well. And that's my memory of first time meeting John.
Yeah, my memory is a bit different. So my memory goes like this. We were working, we were just getting ready to drop natural. So we only had acid on the market at that particular moment in time. And my friend Phil Smallwoods, he hooked up with some other friends, Marvin, them. They hooked up a boat in New York City. And we were going to bring natural for its release night, just like tonight, Jeff. We were going to bring natural live, which now is Laritan, blah, blah. So I don't know what year this was, 99, 2000, whatever. And I remember we were working in the factory in Esteli, Nicaragua, and it was black outside. Our street was the only paved street in Esteli. So in our city, which is the second biggest city in the country, we have one stoplight, which is over by the old Texaco. No streets, like the U2 song, Streets with No Name. That was named after Nicaragua. It was Managua, but either way, Streets Got No Name was us. Somebody's got a parakeet going. And my man, all of a sudden, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're at the factory, which I had just taken that factory over from Perdomo. And I don't even think fully production built out yet. We had them on soon. And old man Perdomo ripped the roof off before he gave me the building. And we tore the total roof off. So rain was coming in. And we were packaging at the front of the facility. And I remember you couldn't see out. It was late at night, but the lights inside, all the packaging girls, myself, we were all working. I don't know if it was 1:30, whatever. And I saw Jeff coming back. He had just come back from dinner and stuff with Perdomo, I guess. And that night, like, I had the door open and Jeff kind of like moseyed in or something. I don't remember. I was walking out the door or something and I saw Jeff. And it was that night, very late at night, that we really, in the middle of Esteli, Nicaragua, at my little factory, and that was really the first time that I really met Jeff and understood from him, about Corona and what and his philosophies on cigars. And we talked all night. I mean, so that memory and what happened with his clothes and driving him and having people come to the airport the whole thing, like, it was the beginning of a friendship and a beginning of a business relationship that's taken a very long journey, and in personal exploration, been able to learn a lot about ourselves, the two of us and the people who surrounded us throughout all these years. So Corona Cigar Company and Drew Estate have been, intertwined in a very significant degree since back in the earliest days, of, I don't know what year it was, 99 or something like that.
That's great. Well, now we're getting some questions about the ordering. So I'll go over this probably every 15 minutes about the deal itself, some of the tiers and some of the swag. So now the swag, you don't have to enter any code to get the swag. The swag will be added to your order afterwards. So it's not in the cart. It's not something, you don't have to do anything wrong. If you ordered and the supplies are locked in, you're good to go. Also, if you don't know where to get it, go to coronacigar.com. There's banner, I believe it's the first page. Click on that and we have all the goodies there. So now I'll let you guys keep going back. How about maybe Jeff? How about okay?
Hang on one second. I'm seeing something up in the Zoom lounge in the chat that says sold out, and I don't think you're sold out. So it's for some reason, the website is saying sold out already, Jeff.
We will address. We'll have Braden address the technical aspect of that momentarily. So
Not here.
we'll address our people. I'm not too sure about the actual status of the sold out, but JD, you keep ripping on. How about the year of the rat while we await answers? We might have sold out in 16 minutes, but I don't know if that's true or possible.
Maybe.
JD,
Don't
what?
forget, but Jack, real quick, don't forget, if you get a box, you still get a year of the rat. So make
Yeah,
sure you
that's
throw that
true.
in there.
So there's a year of the rat for every box of cigars you buy. We have rats on rats on rats on rats. So JD, talk a little bit about the year of the rat cigar itself, kind of the history of rats, this company. What's with this company and rats, and what about this specific cigar is so special?
Yeah, so Liga Privada for us was a major zigzag zigular. We had always early on, for people who know Drew Estate and our culture and stuff, there was a lot built into not just hip hop, but early graffiti and the whole movement, that very urban New York, Brooklyn feel to it. So we had always believed in this zigzag zigular. It was a piece of where Rizzo had instructed us as a student in terms of, you got to let your imagination flow, and you have to be able to move on a dime and be able to change the whole constitution across the board. So when we looked at blending tobacco, whether it was seed selection of what seeds we wanted to work with, or what somebody's got a dog with some bullshit over there, or whether it's a country of origin, or from a processing standpoint, we had always taken, significant steps to always break our own mold. Apple calls it, what do they call it? Joe, what Apple call it when they destroy the?
Oh, Joe's always on point with this one.
My man let me down.
You put him on the spot.
Once you've built up something that's absolutely beautiful, you're almost kind of planned obsolescence, it's called, right?
Ooh.
So that whole kind of like destroy to rebuild kind of thing. So as we moved into traditional cigars, Drew Estate was, the Drew Estate guys, the acid guys, the infused guys. And, Jeff was very important for encouragement and really, many times I've said to Jeff, I'm looking at this concept, I'm working with this material or this type of processing, fire curing. The first time Drew Estate got live with Kentucky Fire Cured in 2011 was Jeff visiting Cigar Safari. I was very sick. I had food poisoning. But I remember we smoked with his 16, 17 guests, and we smoked Kentucky Fire Cured. It was the first time anybody really had smoked a Kentucky Fire Cured, really blended with premiums. Those kinds of things, so the rat, in terms of the rat space, for us, that transition into traditional product was, we looked at it from a very traditional standpoint and conservative. At the same time, we wanted to make sure it had that essence of Drew Estate. We wanted to make sure it encompassed our body of work that would be, a little bit funky, a little bit, just tangling it up. So we had this concept with rats and stuff like that came from Banksy and stuff. We had this graffiti artist from England. So we had this concept with rats and kind of pigs and stuff that was mixed into clothing we were doing and into the way we were painting buildings. Because remember something, when you got a factory that's 186,000 square feet, it's almost 2 football fields. When you think about having 50 full-time graffiti artists, not guys who come on the weekends and, but been there for 17, 18 years, full-time, putting up material work on the walls, we started with these rats, and everybody coming to visit, all the old Cuban guys, all the dudes in the industry coming through. They was like, what's up with these crazy rats? They're doing all sorts of things. They got families, they're building. So we had been making dirty rat way before there was a dirty rat part of Liga Privada. And at that point, we kind of combined Nick, Steve, myself, Marv, Yesenia, Rubio, Joel, the entire production team, Luis, our head of production on the floor. We kind of started to see this cool concept with the rat space. And we did the dirty rat because we used to be like, yo, what's up, dirty? What's up? Anybody you talking to, your brother, you're going to call, what's up, dirty? So that was kind of part of our vernacular. So we dropped Dirty Rat, which was special because it was really the first, if not the first one of the first, second, or first of the ones where we did a Unico. So when you think of Liga Privada, you got Liga Privada number 9, which is a broadleaf wrapper, and then you got Liga Privada T52, which is a Sun, which is a Habano wrapper that we grow in the Connecticut River Valley. So Dirty Rat was one of the very first of the Unico line, which was some shit we would drop in that was like, it wasn't like one and undone. It was something we made a little bit at a time every now and then. It was a pain in the ass. You got to use a scissor and you got to cut up because it's got 7 tobaccos in it. So you had to cut it up into half. If you're taking a leaf, that's a really big deal when you start pulling out a scissor to cut the precision of what the blend should be. So Dirty Rat was the first. Then from there, popular demand went bananas. But we had all sorts of infighting with the rollers. They were smoking all the Ligas. We was working on the Underground. And we started messing around with the larger size, also using the Habano, the T52, which was the Ratzilla. But we were calling it different names. At the time, you had Black Rat and Big Black Rat, Ratzilla. You had a lot of different names. There's many bands out there. So you can find cigar bands that say all sorts of crazy names on it as we were making samples, which a lot of the people in the industry were smoking, like Jeff. So on the other side of things, those being the Habano, the T52 wrapper on the Ratzilla and the Dirty Rat. On the other side of the coin, we were fucking with the Liga 9 wrapper, and we were messing with the Year of the Rat and with the Velvet Rat. But we knew they were going to be Rat family, but at the time we were just calling them Big Black Rat and Black Rat or some bullshit. And they were with the number 9 wrapper, which was the broadleaf wrapper. So we saw something that was really epic happening here with the Rat. We saw not just people's response to it, but being such a traditional cigar and with this heavy broadleaf material that's like a real thick, heavy ligero. We would sell off the Visos and the Secos to other manufacturers in Nicaragua who wanted a heavy leaf tobacco, and we had the extras. We were using only that heaviest leaf. So that, the Rat series is a very full flavored cigar. It's very heavy, very meaty. It's a chunky tobacco, but it's small ring gauges. So it's very unique within we've recently, the Liga Privada Year of the, Rats across the board, whether it's the 9 wrappers or the T52 wrappers, it's made a mark in history in cigars. It's a legacy product for Drew Estate. So there's other things and the people, whatever, but this product definitely is a legacy item,
That's amazing. Now I want to check in where I'm awaiting confirmation, but it appears as if we have a official. Let's unmute Tanya. Tanya,
Hello.
did we just do the dang thing? Are we sold out of Year of the
We have
Rat?
sold out. We have now sold out. We're just waiting on these orders being processed.
Amazing.
Right now, I've got a few people. I've got 4 people answering phone calls, and they're taking the last of the orders.
Great.
So by this point, we have sold out of the
boxes.
Year of
Now
the
what
Rat.
we have Year of the Rat singles for everybody that buys boxes still, correct? And I believe we still have swag. Is there still swag available, or are we blown
There's
through that as
swag
well?
available for the people who are buying boxes that are not. They can also get the swag. So yeah,
So
there's
if
still
you-
swag. If you buy your favorite cigar today from Drew Estate, there's still swag that you will get with it.
Oh, well,
keep
we're still
buying.
winning. You still get a Year of the
We're still-
Rat. You still get this amazing.
getting
I
the
almost called
goodies.
this a lighter. That tells you how my brain is just totally burned out, is that a flashlight is a lighter to me. But you could still get your goodies.
You can still get your goodies, but all these, everything behind me, I don't know if you can see it, but around about here, they're all gone.
We're
They're
doing a
gone.
magic trick where we're making a bunch of Drew Estate cigars disappear tonight.
Exactly. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking we still have some, but these orders are coming. Look,
Yeah, but Joe said it
thick,
before. Listen,
thick.
Joe
Oh
said
my
it-
goodness.
So
Hang
these
on,
have all
Jen.
got to still be processed, and I've got 3 people running around here, doing some now. So they're still coming in.
Hey,
So
Jack,
they're all
Yes,
going.
sir.
get me on the thing. So I want what's important is that we always been a True State of blue collar company. We've always been about we have very humble beginnings. For us, we never played the whole thing of like making products that super exclusivity and super expensive products and this is and that's. It was always for us like if we were raising prices by 25 cents, I was having a freaking coronary. And with tonight, even though that the boxes are out, I remember something. What tonight is about is a Saturday night. People chose to spend this evening with Drew Estate and Corona Cigar Company, and they want to get down. They're also in the mood. They're in the mood to dance. And so with that, we wanted tonight with the Year of the Rat. So what these guys did in the marketing department and sales, they were like, yo, let's put on those, with the box purchases. Don't you get a Year of the Rat as an item that comes along with it?
Yes, sir. If anybody that buys a box will be guaranteed a year of the rat. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. So what it's really about is, we wanted to make sure that everybody got a taste on it. It's a special stick. And when we talked about the rats as a grouping of 4, the 9 side of it, the T52 side of it, of which this is a 9 wrapper, which is a broadleaf wrapper, getting specifically into Year of the Rat, which I'll just say one of the guys on with us tonight is we got Fawn, who's our head of brand management at Drew Estate. This guy's a young gun. I mean, and you got a lot of the people, Joey, my brother Joey right there, Joey R, the white hair, Eminem looking motherfucker. All of these guys, from a production standpoint, the product's been out for a while, but they did a lot to make this box. I just want to say, I haven't had a chance to tell you guys this, Joey and Fawn. What you guys did with this is dope. This product is legal, man. It is like, when I look at this, I was with my man Phil Smolowitz today, and he was like, they look beautiful. And I never did that when I put them in a bundle. I had them in a soft pack. They were fat, but what you guys have done with it, I just say, the Drew Estate touch to making something be beautiful. It's not just about, it's about the soil. It's about the seed. It's about the way we process the material, but it's also about the way we showcase the product to be able to let you know our styles is we're live with our styles. So the gold is absolutely beautiful, and the packaging is commemorative. So it's a really special moment in Drew Estate history. So, I just wanted to thank you guys for it.
That's
beautiful. The other thing I want to say, Jack, since you asked, is the Year of the Rat. That Year of the Rat product is, that product was made with the Florida Panthers. All right. So I don't know if you maybe should say my internet's unstable, but I'm unstable. So the Florida Panthers, we did something cool with them over here for a while, and you can only get them there. And then when that came to its end in our contract and stuff, I wound up taking them nationwide and just be using them for my events for like 3 years or something. So a lot of people had smoked them. They're like, JD, I want to get them. And the history is storied all the way back so many years. I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years or so that we've been working with the material. So it coming to fruition now as a product that we actually can put in the stores, it's very fulfilling to see a passion product. This is not a regular, horsepower, Cuba, Liga Robusto, number 9, Undercrown. It's slightly different just in the fact that it's something that it's a milestone moment from a historic standpoint for the company, bringing it live. So there's a bunch of Drew Estate guys who are here tonight joining us.
Let's welcome a couple of our cohorts on. Speaking of on Fawn, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I am smoking one of the original Year Rats to celebrate this auspicious occasion. I mean, this is an amazing experience, I think, and I'm excited for all the people that got their Year of the Rats, the people that still have the opportunity to get a Year of the Rats so they could smoke. It's smoking really great, and I'm more than proud of all the work of everyone and Corona Cigar Company. Thank you so much for being a part of this and hosting everybody. So thank you so much.
Now, Joey, our creative director, you've been around for a long time now. This is a strange and interesting time, but what an amazing evening this is. Talk about tonight and this product. Sorry, keep cutting you off.
Oh, well, tonight's great, man. It's always good to hang out with this amazing crew of people and Jeff, who I admire tremendously, having seen him work. And when you talk about mom and pop business, you look at Jeff. Look at Jeff, because he's the epitome of what you can really do if you're a mom and pop. You start with ambition and drive to be successful in something, and you keep blowing it up step by step. And he's one of the hardest working dudes I've ever seen in this business. I'll say a story one night, if Jeff remembers, we were doing an event, I think at the Sand Lake location. Man, it was like midnight and it was crazy in there. The bar was hopping. People were running around smoking all sorts of stuff. Drew Estate Mania was going on. And he was running back and forth out of the storage room and refilling and restocking the shelves himself and walking the aisles, fixing book boxes that were crooked. And I just really watched that. And I was like, wow, here's a dude. He doesn't need to be doing this. It's Mitt, but you know what? He did need to be doing it because he really cares about his business and about delivering the goods at any hour of the day or night. And that was really impressive. So cheers to Jeff, a real true mom and pop success story, if there ever was one that I've seen. And to be a part, be a partner with him in all our endeavors has been great. And it's just great to be able to hang out even in this world of, Zoom meetings and stuff. It's great. So cheers to everybody that's on here doing a good job and hanging out and partying, man. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing before we move on to the next thing is we one of the big connectivities of when we say Jeff, his staff and Tanya. Tanya, you guys have met already tonight. She's over at the warehouse. She's getting her orders in. She's having fun. It's not just striving to sell boxes. It's striving to the community to grow. Fellowship is something that I've learned a lot.
Some other Zoom that wasn't.
Borysiewicz, when back in the day when he first started, I remember his first little store, small ass skinny store, and I was in Nicaragua making my cigars. I come to visit him. We started collaborating early on. This guy is first class, so you remember that came to visit me or something.
Yeah, John, you're cutting out, but I can tell you what happened there. So John drove up in a little U-Haul truck, probably the shittiest little U-Haul truck I ever seen him rent. I'm surprised they even left that thing on the road. But he came up to pick up one of those Punch Man statues that I gave him as a little gift. So he's in his house with all the fancy artwork and stuff. Just remember the little Punch Man statue there. And but all I got to say is that everything we do at Corona Cigar is a team effort. It makes me uncomfortable hearing all my name said so much when it's really. I'm looking at Angel. I'm looking at our team with Tommy, Braden, Derek, everybody that's on this call here. We've got a great Eli's behind me. We got so many great team members and Tanya at the warehouse and the whole crew. We're not an island and nothing gets done by ourselves. So I try to lead by example, but it's the great people that make Corona Cigar what it is. I mean, and that's. More accolades go to my staff than anything else.
I'm going to remind everybody about our current state, those tuning in. So we are sold out of boxes of Year of the Rats, but we still have singles of Year of the Rats and we have swag available. So if you make a box purchase, you're going to get a single Year of the Rat. And if you make a multi-box purchase, you might be able to win. I don't know if these are even still around, but you might get a Year of the Rat lighter. You'll get a Liga Privada box jack, which I don't have with me, and you'll get one of these amazing toolkits. So if you want your Year of the Rat, they're not gone. We still have some for you. You can just got to
Jack, real quick. The other thing that we did set some boxes at each of the retail stores. Now,
of course,
a couple of guys were hitting me up before this came on, and they were like, "What time are these going to be available?" And we knew that the starting gun was going to start at 7 o'clock sharp. So that meant guys that were ready, locked and loaded, were able to get them. But we wanted to try and make sure it's fair. So we've got boxes at every one of the stores. And I told the guys, actually, your best shot, if you're within driving distance of one of our stores, drive to the store. Because that's pretty much how I can almost guarantee you're going to get one versus the 7 o'clock starting thing.
That's great.
Well,
speaking of, how about you give us a tour of your location, where you're at right now? I know you've been jonesing to get out to the people.
No, we'll go out and check it out. I mean, it gets a little loud. Let's see, but I'll be able to tell right now. We'll do a little virtual walk around. See what we got going on out here.
Now you're at the Sand Lake location, correct?
I am at the Sand Lake location, and yes, we do have rats. We got people at the register. How you doing, guys? Hello. So people picking out cigars. People getting back to normal here in Florida. We're practicing social distancing with keeping the table spread apart, but things are coming back. This is what we want to see. This is what the lifestyle is about. And by the way, this is Drew Estate Lounge. If you didn't know, so we got a lot of Drew Estate trinkets, right? Stuff coming from the old school stuff.
It's
right?
amazing.
Right? Some of this stuff you guys worked on years ago, you might have forgot you even did. But that's all
Now
right.
let's check in with I'm gonna call an Angel downtown, I believe, right, Angel?
Yeah, I'm at downtown at our downtown location right now.
Do you want to give us a quick little spin
Yeah.
around? Give people a tour?
So what I'm going to show you now, we're on the cigar side, as you can see. We got people in the aisles. All right, walking over to our bar. We got our bartenders making drinks. We got people sitting around, and I'll take you pretty much to the patio side where we're kind of packed out here. I'll do a quick walkthrough outside. As you can
Beautiful.
see, it's a beautiful day, even though the rain. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, we have people outside enjoying the evening. As you can see, as long as they come together, groups of 10, they can sit together. But we are doing our social distancing. All right, coming up to the
Angel,
front.
I am
Yes,
so
sir.
listen. I'm just saying I'm so happy to see that because
Yeah.
this. Let me tell you,
What's
City
going on?
Hall. Look at that.
You know?
City Hall
So
is
coming
right
back
across the
inside?
street. So
And so
Yeah, man.
everyone's outside right now enjoying the evening, smoking cigars and having a good cocktail.
Amazing. Jeff, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I'm just saying, man. Today's been a rough day for me, honestly. But we've been watching all kinds of crazy shit out there, and so I see downtown, and this is what we're supposed to be doing: smoking cigars, being friends, and coming together. And that's what it's all about. So trust me, that's a big relief to see that. And that's the magic of cigars. I say it all the time. That's why we smoke cigars. That's why the peace pipe was smoking tobacco. And so anyway, let's share a cigar and let's just be friends, bro. Let's all be
Yeah.
happy.
Well, speaking of cigars, I'll start with you. The specific cigar I'd like to talk about is the FSG. So I want to ask you and JD both, but I'll let you start first about this product. How did it came to be? What makes FSG so special? Where does that take place in your heart, that cigar?
Well, I'm smoking the FSG right now, and I tell you, I would love to smoke one of those rats, but I told Eli, I said, listen, I'm gonna smoke one Monday, just in case, because we don't have a lot of these, and I want to make sure that there's no phone calls Monday morning and say, hey, we don't have one to add with the order. So I hope to enjoy that maybe after everybody gets their cigars. But so tonight I'm smoking my favorite cigars, the FSG by Drew Estate, and that's a product of love, man. There's a lot of work that goes in it, and hats off to Willie and everybody at the factory in Nicaragua. I tell you what, every year they get better. They really do. Every year they get better, and John is a visionary guy, and he appreciates things that are unique, and also supports American tobacco. So I appreciate the Drew Estate team, what they've done, not just with our place, but with Connecticut, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Louisiana. It's good to be able to recognize some of the hardworking American farmers out there, because they never really got any attention. And to be honest with you, that was intentional, because if you keep the farmers hidden, you can keep the prices lower. That's the way the industry always worked for the last 100 years, by the way. But it's good to show that these guys are still out there, and thank you, the whole entire team of Drew Estate, what you guys do, and believing in the project, and believing what we do, and believing in keeping that American spirit alive. Keeping that little tiny bit of history, keep it rolling. So we appreciate it.
JD, talk a little bit about FSG, the cigar, and what that product means to you.
Well, just what Jeff was on is all this is interwoven. Everything there's a beautiful mosaic in all of this. FSG is, to me, about as much about Florida Sungrown as Jeff, as his company's history and their journey. And when he really said, hey, listen, man, I'm doing the farm. I was already at that point the largest not me, the company, Drew Estate was the largest purchaser of tobacco in Nicaragua, in the whole country. We import more Nicaraguan tobacco into Nicaragua than anybody. It's massive. And dealing with as many farmers as we deal with at Drew Estate, because as you guys know, we're a manufacturer. That's our skill set. That's our gift. You're lucky if you get a gift. We had a gift in that manufacturing process, in that team building, people smiling, dancing, merengue, reggaeton, chavata. People are happy at the factory at Drew Estate. Jeff knows that. And when he started touching in the farm area, I had spent the previous 20 years working in, dealing with farmers and working in farms and being at farms and living on farms, everything with farms. So I really said, yo, that's a big step, brother, because you're a retailer, the best I've ever seen. But you're a retailer and that's your specialty. And now you want to dip into the second space. You want to go into one of the nuclei, which is manufacturing is one of them. Obviously farming is another one, the whole process of retailing. So where I respect what he did is, for me, it's not just about FSG. FSG is a beautiful brand. It's a front mark. It's Drew Estate. It's a very interesting tobacco for many reasons. Also, obviously, it's the most like Cuba from a standpoint for a variety of reasons, which Jeff will talk about, I'm sure. But it's the fact that he had the courage to venture into being a farmer and bring that where every Corona Cigar Company member in his team, if you're a part-time employee, if you mop the floor, if you make sure the outside is clean for the patrons, that farm is in every one of you. That's something that I respect deeply amongst hundreds of employees, how many he's got, that they know that their parent company has that level of expertise, not just whether it's farming, production, retailing. So I see it very much, it's like graffiti, hip hop, and dance. Early in the 80s, those were part of that urban culture people call the culture now, where it started from and how the Clash was aligned to that's what I like about this, about what Corona's brought to the game. So the FSG brand is a way for us to bring that out and say, hey, yo, this is the accumulation of that work effort. Jeff's work, guys who work on the farm, they're hardworking Americans. They're out there every day lifting tobacco, moving tobacco around, carrying each leaf, making sure each plant's just perfectly planted, spaced out correctly. The more you space a plant apart, the more nutrients, the more water that is to get. Jeff is involved in that. So when he looks at that, he's able to talk to you about his Padrones, his Fuente, his Drew, his Liga Privadas, all of his house brands. His team is educated. That farm really helps him. So I see them as very authentic and legitimate and able to be in the circumference of Drew Estate when it comes to being a brand partner, because we want to be with people who are in the cut in their specific specialty. So Jeff and Tanya and the Corona team have that embedded into their DNA now. It's very
It's amazing. Now, speaking of Tanya, I want to check in. How are we looking down at the warehouse? You're still upright, so that's good.
I'm still upright, and along with all your thank yous, obviously we want to thank the people who are actually buying the cigars from Drew Estate, from Corona Cigar Company. As I'm looking through these orders, I see that you've got a lot of fans out there. People are buying more than just the Rat today. So I'm going to give a little shout out to some of them. We've got Benjamin out there in Los Angeles, Jerome in Virginia Beach. I've got David in Seaford, Virginia. I've got Brad in Tiverton, Rhode Island. Jeff in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Matt in Brambleton. And these are some of the people that I'm looking at that have got like a big order that's more than just the box. So I can see that they're fans of you, and I'd like to say thank you to those guys.
Yeah, we thank them a bunch. Now, how are we holding it down? We're probably, all of our swag is while supplies last, so I think we probably still have some swag available if people want to keep buying boxes.
Yeah, keep buying. Yeah, we've got plenty of swag left here for boxes that even when we run out for the Rat, there's plenty of extra swag. If you keep buying, we'll keep giving.
That's amazing. Now, just for those that are not, I said every 15 minutes. I meant every 15 minutes. Set your watch to it because I'm reminding you about the deal. So we are sold out of the Year of the Rat 10 count boxes, but any box purchase, you will be able to. A Year of the Rat is included in that. There's also an Acid 20 included in that. There is a I gotta refresh it. I don't even have it pulled up. There's a Herrera Esteli Toro included in that. So you get 4 cigars and the Liga tool kit. So you get this, Liga 9, you get this Liga 9 flashlight. You get a Liga 9 knife, which I almost misplaced my knife. That's not something you want to be doing.
That's amazing.
A Liga 9 knife, and then a Liga 9 backpack. In a multi-box purchase, you're going to get all this, and then a Liga 9 box jack as well. So we're going crazy on the deals here. And we were talking so much about FSG. Why don't you just pick up a couple boxes of FSG? Get it all sorted tonight. That's easy money.
Hurry, hurry, Mrs. Murray. Come and get it while it lasts.
That's amazing. Now we are joined by a special guest, and I'm going to put him on the spot. Mr. Glenn Wolfson, the CEO of Drew Estate. Glenn, how are you this evening?
Good evening, Jack. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm on my best behavior tonight, as you've seen. No curse words. I even showered. I do look a little homeless, but I see that you've cleaned up the beard recently.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
But Jack, the night is young.
Yes, that's very true. How are you doing tonight, Glenn?
I'm doing well. So I've got one of these.
Yes, you do.
Which I'm going to save to celebrate tonight after we're done here and the like. But thanks for unmuting me. So I want to kind of build upon what Jonathan and others are talking about tonight, which is tonight is a celebration, a gift of royalty, which is, in our industry, we are a group of street fighters who cater to the common person, who in times of adversity, whether it's regulatory, whether it's what's going on in the world around us right now as we look on Fox News and others, as we go from city to city and watch what's happening in the streets of Los Angeles, Chicago, my old hometown, and Atlanta and others. There are a precious few people and moments and, most important, causes that rise above all of this and bring us together, in our instance, as a brotherhood of the leaf. And I texted Jeff a few minutes ago. He didn't respond to me. I was kidding about, but he said, "Good evening, Your Highness." But Tanya and Jeff are true royalty in our industry. Their aspiration, their vision, their love of the Torah. When you go out to the farm and you watch them do what they do is truly an amazing thing, which helped bring to the world FSG. And we are proud, Jeff and Tanya, to be your partner in bringing it to the rest of the world beyond just simply the state of Florida. In addition, I saw Angel on here tonight. There he is. Saw him right before, I think, Irma hit 2 years ago, when he said, "Holy shit, I just moved into my new house. I'm not sure where the keys to the hurricane shutters are, but I better find these things." But I want to share a story about Jeff with respect to Irma, which I think really speaks to the boots that he wears. I know we saw them a little bit earlier tonight when he was walking around, but it's a measure to whom, Tanya and Jeff are, what they bring to us every day. So I was going to ride out Hurricane Irma down at the time. Linda and I were living in Coral Gables, and that sucker was making a beeline towards us. And several of our Drew Estate colleagues walked to my office and basically said, "Boss man, get the hell out of Dodge. I don't care where you go, but it better be at least 100 plus miles away from here." So we headed up to Orlando. And as I think we all know, the storm went to the west, then it came up over Marco, came up in Naples, then it hung an eastern turn and made a beeline for Orlando. And we were at a Marriott right near the airport, and we lost our power up there. So Linda and I and the three cats without power. But we decided two things. And actually, before the storm hit, we were at the Sand Lake store with Jeff and Tanya as you guys were beginning to close down and starting to board up the windows and put the tape on the windows. And it was really fun to just join them for a good celebratory moment in preparation for the storm. But a couple of days later, when we finally got out of captivity, we were driving around. We went over to Disney World to drive around the property and see what's going on. And then we made a beeline back to the Sand Lake store. We drive into the parking lot. There's nothing in the parking lot except a shitload of water and some lunatic in this backhoe thing driving around, scraping the pavement to basically get the leaves and the twigs and the limbs off of the grate so this thing could drain. You want to take a guess who was driving the sucker?
I have an idea.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're exactly right. But you know, it's just a measure of the Borysiewicz family, that commitment, that, you know, God knows they've been so incredibly successful. They have enjoyed and celebrate all the finer things in life in some degree. But when you know the kids and you see the parents and you see moments like this, you realize they've never, ever, ever lost touch with the people who have helped them bring their dreams to reality, whether it's the retail stores, the farm, the brands, and the like. So Tanya, my dear, Jeff, our good friend, we thank you, we celebrate with you, and we are thrilled tonight to be able to have our very first Year of the Red event with all of you guys. We love you.
Well said, Glenn. That was beautiful. I put you on the spot, and you just immediately delivered like a beautiful oratory moment in this. I would expect nothing less from you. Now I see somebody that just joined. Now, Mr. Willie Herrera, how are you? Can you hear me?
All's good. What's going on?
We were talking FSG earlier with our friend Jeff. What was this cigar like as far as a blender? What was it like to take this tobacco from Florida and kind of work with Jeff and create this amazing cigar?
Challenging, really challenging. It was unlike anything I had ever worked with, smoked, tasted, nothing. It was definitely different, and now one of my favorite freaking cigars, man. I love that tobacco. It's special. It was a lot of work to make it work, so I guess that's why it's so near and dear to my heart, man. It's there's nothing in the market like that. There's nothing that comes close. I tell people all the time in the humidor, I say, if you could pick one cigar in that humidor that tastes like that, I'll give you $100. There's nothing. It's just amazing tobacco.
Well, that's great. Now this would be a great time, Jeff, to talk about FSG the farm. Now let's assume that somebody has no idea about the tobacco where this comes from. Tell people about the FSG farm. Oh, you're muted. I gotta release you.
Unmute. All right, you got me now, right?
I got you now.
So the farm's about 45 minutes west of Orlando, so it's not that far from here. It's in Central Florida in a beautiful little town called Claremont, which actually is growing quite a bit now. But what's interesting about it is Florida's been growing tobacco for 150 years. And I remember when Willie was working on those blends, and he would send me test blends, and we talk about it. And also some of the challenges for Drew Estate of working with this new leaf. You know, every time you bring in a new type of tobacco, you just can't ferment it like a Nicaraguan tobacco or a broadleaf or a Cameroon or Connecticut. Each one has its own little nuances. So they accepted the challenge and from not just blending a cigar, but working with a new type of tobacco and figuring out what is the magic recipe to ferment FSG tobacco. And then when Willie was working with it as a blender, what's really interesting about that is that the last time somebody had blended Florida tobacco, the Cuban style, we use Corojo 99, which is a Cuban seed. The last time that was really grown was about 100 years ago during the Spanish-American War, because that's when there was actually a very large tobacco plantation in a place called Fort Meade, Florida, which is just outside Tampa. And what they did is they needed to secure a source of Cuban style tobacco to fill the void that was going to be created with that war that we were having with Spain for the independence of Cuba. So I think it's really cool that if you look at, Willie and your history and your family's history, that you're actually working with something that Cubans were working with 120 years ago and blending another cigar. So, I hats off to him. I love FSG. I smoked the heck out of it. And it's a fun and challenging concept. And it's a fun and challenging project. The whole thing, the project, and thank the farm guys that do this. Of course, it's It's hard work. Everybody would love to have a farm. I always say people love having farms and big yards and all that other stuff, but they don't like having to mow it and have to do all the work that's involved with it. We love what we do, and again, I'm thankful for the let's say the foresight of Drew Estate and the wonderful product it turned out. And once again, none of this can be done by anybody. The entire team of Corona Cigar and Drew Estate, and also the biggest accolades for the support we got from the consumers. The cigar itself has to stand on its own. You can have the greatest story in the world, but if the tobacco's not good or the cigar's not good, they're not going to continue to buy it. And we've really had great support, and people now more than ever really like the fact that we brought something back in America, which was gone for so long. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep doing it until I'm too old to bend over to do any work. But that's my challenge, unless I get something happens before that. But it's a passion project. It's almost like a not-for-profit project, that's for sure. But it's a passion project, and I love what I do. And who knows, maybe my son Boris might want to get out there and do all that hard work. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But that's where we're at now.
That's amazing. Now, an unfortunate, this has been a pretty crazy year. So an unfortunate thing that happened on the FSG farm this year is a cancellation of Barn Smoker, but I'm looking forward to us getting together in something like this, I'm sure, in November for kind of our best attempt at a virtual Barn Smoker. Let's not dwell on the unfortunate nature. I kind of want to talk about Barn Smoker and what that event has meant for the farm and kind of being able to kind of evangelize about American tobacco.
So the Barn Smoker concept, again, hats off to John and the vision. Really, if you look at the vision of Drew Estate and John's plans, I remember when John was developing that factory in Esteli, and not only, he was showing me all the stuff that was getting built here, and he's like, man, this is going to be like our hotel where all the rooms are. Here's going to be a pool and all this other stuff. Now, let me tell you, no one else has done that. And the idea of the cigar safari was incredibly successful. But not everybody can take off to go to Nicaragua, and not everybody maybe feel comfortable to, get a passport to go fly to Nicaragua. So the American Barn Smoker program is a great way for folks to be able to go to a place that they may not have to, take 4 to 5 days off to travel. They can go drive to it and see, how we do it here. And that's the part I love about it, is no one was tooting that horn of the guys in America that were doing this. Connecticut had been growing this cigar tobacco before any of us were born. These guys, the immigrants that started those farms up in Connecticut, these go back 150, some of them 200 years. So it's good to shine light on that industry and the families that are involved in it. And obviously, it's very successful. People that go to it love it. The feedback you get is fantastic. You guys put out crazy great swag, crazy great cigars, and we have a lot of fun at it. So it's unfortunate what happened this year, but next year we'll do it again. So I'll miss that part of it, but it is what it is. And thank you for everybody that's made the trip to Corona Cigar and to Claremont, Florida to visit the farm. That's very special. We really appreciate the support, and we'll see you next year on it.
Yes. Now it's my 15-minute warning for everybody that maybe doesn't know what the deal is tonight. So we are selling Year of the Rats. We are sold out of 10 count boxes online. Now, if you're in the Tampa area or the Orlando area or in the state of Florida and you got nothing going on, just make the drive to any of the Corona Cigar locations. We still have some full Year of the Rat boxes there, but anybody that purchases a box will get a Year of the Rat cigar, as well as 3 other cigars from Drew Estate, and one of these amazing Liga 9 survival kits that comes with a flashlight, a custom Liga 9 knife, and this amazing Liga 9 backpack. And if you buy more than one box, you buy multiple boxes, you'll get a Liga 9 ashtray, as well as a Liga Privada box jack, which is this bottle opener cutter thing that's amazing. Now, JD, I want to talk to you about Barn Smoker, and then afterwards we'll talk to our man Gary as well. What are your thoughts? I mean, on the success of Barn Smoker and where is it headed in the future?
Yeah, well, this year we did what's called the Bond Smoker Goodwill Act of 2020. So we're very proud about that at Drew Estate. You know, we always talk about representing our street in Oscar Gomez, not Oscar Gomez, but Oscar Gomez Dos. The second Oscar Gomez in the barrio named Rosario, which is about 60% of the population of Esteli, and in the Esteli district of what's called the Segovias. When you're in the north of Nicaragua, that area is called the Segovias. Esteli plays the most central role in the Segovias. So when we think about Bond Smoker for us is our answer to Nicaraguan Cigar Safari, which, you know, everybody knows what we did with the tourism side of it, and even how we partnered with what was Patron, Perdomo, everybody. That being, when they had tours, we ran it through Drew Estate. Everybody came through our place for a day. It didn't matter whose tour was going on. And we created that facility to do it. So for us, when we transferred Cigar Safari, which, as you guys know, is either Wednesday to Saturday, Sunday to Wednesday, it's that trip into Nicaragua, 4 days, 3 nights. We transferred that into the United States, commencing with the Kentucky Fire. It was actually called at the time, Mr. Jack, it was called Kentucky Fire Cured Bond Smoker. It wasn't even Kentucky Bond Smoker. That's why I love looking back historically. I talk about spice trades and coffee distribution of kings and queens and deep in, you know, the Ottomans and stuff. People laugh, but I'll tell you what, that historical piece to what we do, we try to transfer that information and talk about our yields and how production works. When we talk about how much it costs to make a cigar, where your costs are, whether it's a Bond Smoker or Cigar Safari, what we're trying to really illustrate is our connectivity to the earth. And when you talk about culture, subculture, agriculture, for us, that agricultural side goes back to Cigar Safari, where we're able to educate and really show people why if you sleep on the floor for 20 years of a factory, you're going to know some shit. When people say, hey, what happened? This guy, 5 generations, 6 generations. How'd you sleep on the floor for 20 years? It gives you a certain credibility, and it allows us to illustrate that and talk about what we feel, even if sometimes we're wrong. Nestor Placencia has kicked my ass and said, yo, you're looking at the colors too much. You need to look at the material, the texture, a little heavier, lighter, and that we changed texture. We had blind dudes that working at our factory could feel the texture of a tobacco better than anybody who were blind, who worked in production, thousands of people at our factory, deaf guys, blind guys, people who interesting, beautiful people in Nicaragua. And we really dug into the community. We didn't even put a cafeteria in our factory because we knew we had thousands of people. We built the neighborhood around us. That was a paternalistic decision that we took about our neighborhood. Cigar Safari transferred to Bond Smoker. Bond Smokers were able to represent Nicaragua, but we also had Connecticut, Kentucky, obviously Florida with my man Jeff. We had Pennsylvania and Louisiana. We're able to illustrate those tobaccos and be able to illustrate what the farmer's contribution is into Drew Estate's history and part of the culture, because we didn't follow trends. We create new concepts that are deep in the cut. So for us, Bond Smoker this year, we had the whole situation going on with the COVID, which we want to thank all of the people at the front, you know, levels of the nurses. And my mom is an RN, she's retired, you know, nurses and doctors and policemen and firemen and EMT people, all of the people at the cash registers and the people who lift boxes around. Drew Estate has really acknowledged that's why we had to kill the Bond Smokers for this year. And Gary, he came up with a brilliant concept, which my boss, Glenn, he's on the call tonight, Glenn Wolfson, my man Anfon, Joe Gross, the head of digital marketing is with us. I see my man with his glasses. Raise your hand, Joe. So my man right there, the whole team created Gary's name, galvanized us. Drew Estate was galvanized as a little Troy. Was beautiful. The Goodwill Act of 2020. When Jeff heard this, I felt like Jeff was crying. Jeff's the toughest. One time we were at Perdomo's factory. The old man was still alive. I was with him the night he died, the old man, Nick Perdomo Sr. But when I was with Jeff 10 years earlier, we were at the factory farm. And Jeff said to everybody, I'm going to flip a cow. And my man was like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I betted on Jeff. And Bond Smoker allows us to bring the folklore. It's not just about what you know, a technicality, about material of yield, big ass plants of tobacco. Those are the most beautiful plants. Not necessarily. If you're growing for strength, you want a squat plant, a small plant, positioned correctly. You want the street blocked by the amount of material blocking so the wind don't hit. You want that tobacco right. So Barn Smoker illustrates between the folklore, the yields, what materials, per stick contributions, when you think about when you make a cigar and how that adds value to a consumer, across the value chain, up and down the food stream. So that's what's nice about Barn Smoker. We really get education. My man, Willie Herrera, he gets very deep in the blending process. A lot of the best brewers in the world want to work with Willie, and some of the best distillers in the world, Pappy Van Winkle, Buffalo Trace, my man, MB Roland, all of them, the dudes at Metallica, everybody want, all the distillers and breweries guys want to come run around with your estate, big companies, corporate ass motherfuckers, all the way down to local schmokels who all stuck up on their local schmokel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves to come to Barn Smoker. This year, Gary will tell you about the Goodwill Act, the Barn Smoker Goodwill Act 2020, named by my man, the strategic thinker, Gary. Get my man Gary on it. Love this one, man.
How's everyone doing? Good? All right.
Yeah, we're doing good. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, so this year, we really wanted to give back. You guys have supported us for over 5 years, since we've kicked off the initial first Barn Smoker in Kentucky. You guys have been really loyal, and we've had a great time. It's been a really great experience, evolving Barn Smoker to what it has become lately. And, we're going to miss it this year. But, we thought, what a better way to help everybody now in this time and, give everybody their money back. And then, in addition to that, just send them all the swag and really hold these events and, hold true to, what we're doing. And that's educating everybody on the American tobacco experience. We're going to have a great time. And I look forward to seeing everybody then. We're also going to be giving, $50,000 donation to Cigars for Warriors in light of, the donations we usually give them. So, it's a really proud moment that we're able to stick it out and, let everybody know that Barn Smoker isn't going nowhere. We'll host these things in an apocalypse if we have to. So thanks.
Well, I love this guy. That's why I love my company, Drew Estate. In Nicaragua, they don't even call us Drew Estate. Jeff, you know what they call us? Drew Estate. They don't pronounce the E. It's Drew Estate. ¿Dónde está Drew Estate? And I say, yo, Drew Estate, with un este enfrente de the S. Un chavalo. Pero that's what I love about my man Gary. Jeff, when you create something where you have people who have come to the company over the last number of years, from some of our CEO you've met tonight, Gary, who worked, my man Ryan over at Consumer Engagement, our digital team. This really is a beautiful thing about our company, the mentorship, the educational experience. It's what I love about this company. I read about my man Joey's on the call tonight. Jack was talking about Joey. He's makes all of our packaging beautiful, more than that, even our graphics, and deeply involved in the culture of the company. You got Joey on here tonight or no?
He's on. It looks like he's stepped away from his camera at the moment.
It's no surprise, Jack.
No, he's here. He's here. He's there. He was taking a nap, maybe too much mezcal.
No, he was refilling his drink.
Well, yeah.
Joey, we got a couple of comments about your glass. Can you explain what the mezcal glass that people say? Did he just drink out of a pot?
Yes, it's a little clay pot. That's what you drink mezcal out of. This is what I'm drinking tonight. I know JD's got a bottle of his own. He's drinking out of, but yeah, this is just a traditional way of drinking it. It slows you down a bit, so you only sip it, and that way you can just lengthen the period of time of your inebriation.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying, Jack?
And that's the culture. That's the culture that I impart upon the Drew Estate Nation that we're in the middle of.
Well, as we're coming to the back half, the tail end of our wonderful evening, when it's still going on, these deals these deals are while supplies last. So while we still have swag, while the locations still have cigars, we're going to be running these deals. So when this broadcast ends, that by no means means that this deal ends. Poor Tanya is going to be shipping these orders out into the wee hours of the morning. But this is a really exciting time because we kicked off the year of the rat during kind of this is our period where we release some of our new cigars. So, and I know you'll find many of them in the Corona Cigar locations in their online stores. But I wanted to talk to my boss, Joe Groh, who is the digital marketing head, about the new release period, what we got coming, and any special announcement potentially down the road, Joe?
Well, I mean, thanks, Jack. And I think we have a few special announcements. I mean, you guys have been getting emails. You've been seeing our social media posts. We've been dropping some goodies. I mean, we kicked it off with the Year of the Rat. We've launched, that we're in this virtual event platform so that everyone can join in. If you didn't get your Year of the Rat box tonight, at every VS virtual event that our TMs, our reps are going to be hosting across the country, there's going to be 4 boxes available per store. So don't fret right now. And don't forget tonight, you still be able to get the Year of the Rat with any box purchase. But not only that, then we dropped a couple acid samplers. We had the 7 Wonders. So if you want to take that journey across the acid line, if you've never really experienced it beyond maybe a Cuba or a Blondie, that's a great way to try it. And they have also the acid lounge pack that comes back with the Nefasto, which some people haven't seen in a pretty long time. So that's pretty awesome. And then yesterday, Hoya de Nicaragua launched the Numero Uno Le Premier, which you got a nice Churchill size. And that's a 2-time Cigar of the Year winner. So, I mean, that is a delicious cigar. And a small little story on that one. When my son was born, I came back. I had to fly back from IPCPR at the former event last year. And I actually had only 1 cigar in my bag because I left all of my luggage there. Poor Gary had to ship it back. But I actually only had 1 cigar in my bag, and that is the cigar I smoked when my son was born. So just as a personal note, that is an amazing cigar. But we have a lot of goodies dropping for the next couple of weeks. So you got a lot of new stuff coming. And we're going to kind of culminate this in a really special event, much like tonight. And that's called Freestyle Live Special Edition, where you're going to see all the new products. You're going to see some killer stuff, not only just the Year of the Rat, all the new goodies that we're going. We got some special surprises, including we're going to be giving away some Liga Privada humidors and some other killer swag that night. So you guys are going to want to tune in. I dropped the link in the Facebook chat and in the Zoom chat. Make sure you guys sign up, get on the registration list for that, because you are not going to want to miss that. That is June 11th from 7 to 9 p.m. Now, John, I want to kind of kick it to you for a minute. I mean, we were talking barn smokers. We're talking Year of the Rat tonight. That highlight of the Connecticut River Valley, that is some special tobacco. And I mean, this is wrapped in that Connecticut broadleaf. And I mean, I'm taking this one down to the nub tonight. So why don't you kick that a little bit about that to me, just everybody here. What makes the Connecticut River Valley so special?
Thanks, Joe. We love you do what you do digitally and being able to connect to our people out there. A lot of people talk about what's called, Drew State started the word, fellowship. Fellowship happened at that barn smoker. And Joe, we have a truly cigar-centric crew, both in the marketing, sales, across the board. And thank you, Joe, for always digging in with giving so much information about how we Joe's a great marketing guy. I love this guy. So, answer to your question is, material that we harvest up in the Connecticut River Valley. There's really, you got to think of every valley in the world, Joe. You got to think of it as a canvas, and you got to say what paint you're going to work with. You want to get the top-notch Italian paint made in a small town where they make blue that looks like cobalt, and that blue, and they process it in a German manner that's precision, fine-tuned. And you say, I only want to do that. I want to make it that level, across the board. Filler, binder, wrapper, the whole thing, and present it with a bow tie with Joey, packed it beautiful. But you say, wow, it's missing something. This tobacco is regal. Every drop of this tobacco is regal, but it's missing something. What's wrong? And you're talking to Willie. Willie's talking to Jasenia. He's talking to Michael. See, everybody's chatting, and they're talking, what's wrong? When you all of a sudden realize you needed just something rough, rugged, and raw, something in that tobacco to just tie it up and just make it rough and add some where you feel the grit in your mouth and you feel it in your gums, that type of mouth feel that's got that thickness to it, that type of chunky character that you feel in the mouth feel and the grit on your mouth and in your teeth and all around. As that burns with the smell, the Dirty Rat, all these products, especially in, I mean, not just the Unico. I think T52, people are loving that Brazilian Herrera Esteli. There's so much to talk about, you know, but the Connecticut broadleaf, I mean, the Connecticut River Valley is a famous, it's one of the areas of the indigenous seeds of the world. You had the Connecticut River Valley, the broadleaf material. You had Sumatra, you had Mexico, San Andreas. You had Indonesian tobacco. And then from there, we've made thousands of hybrids of seeds. People were making hybrids, combining this way, Criollo and Corojo and Habano, 2000, 2007, all types of seed. My man Jeff's using a Corojo seed. He's experimented with many seeds already. Just for a few years on a farm, Jeff's already experimented with a number, but with Liga Privada, Jeff knows what's up. We were working out there in Connecticut, and people were like, why is Drew Estate out here bidding more than anybody, getting the farms? We wanted to get farmers, been there 150 years. And we pull up in a minivan, jump out of the truck, you know, with Nike Air Force Ones on, and they don't, you know, standing in mud. And we were looking at tobacco with different lens. Our conceptual lens for Liga Privada, whether it was a Habano seed, which was a seed, you know, if you talk Pilato Cubano seed of Cuba brought to Dominican Republic, you're going to get one taste component. In the Connecticut River Valley, you can grow whatever type of tobacco you want, a Sumatra seed, a Criollo seed. We started messing with Habano seed. And what we did with it was store cut, store cure. So people didn't say store cut. If you take a tobacco plant and it's just a stick, and up at the bottom is a Seco of Viso Ligero, out in the Connecticut River Valley, we would cut the stalk at the bottom and hang it upside down in the barn. We never like primed the plant and took the leaves off, took the leaves off. We cut it. So for us, if we're doing a Liga 9 material, which is going to be this cigar, the Year of the Rat and the Velvet Rat, I believe, or a Habano material, which is going to be the Dirty Rat and the Ratzilla, those materials have been heavily worked. There's all sorts of farmers. We got Jamaican dudes and Nicaraguan dudes, Connecticut people, historians who have been there 3 and 4 and 5, 7 generations of people on those farms. And then they're telling you their secrets you're wanting to know. I want to commercialize the material. I want to understand what you're doing and see if it fits our brand culture and the culture that goes with Liga Privada, if we're going to transfer it to Nica Rustica or potentially pass on the experience. Once we buy the tobacco, we put a lock on the back of the truck. That's it. We own it. We paid for it. That made Drew Estate very different. We don't select it in the country of Nicaragua. We select it there. So, you know, the Connecticut River Valley for us was an area to be experimental and change the world, to drop some bombs. And now guys like Jeff, of which there are very few, are able to then, you know, watch what Jeff has done and learn from his mistakes. No one's made more mistakes than Drew Estate in Nicaragua. We burned up material and wasted wrapper. And watching Jeff grow as a farmer, being able to transfer that and represent us tonight on Year of the Rat, bringing that together live. Jeff, thank you for that, and Tanya and the Corona Cigar Company for how you guys believe in us. And you've always said, you've always told me, you know, and us the truth about our you know, stuff. And it was just great to partner with you all these years. It's a fun.
Yeah, it's been an amazing night, and I think we'll go around the horn one more time, and I kind of want to check in on some of our locations, and I'll update you on the deal one more time, the status of it, and then we'll say goodnight. But what an amazing evening, and what a way to bring in a new product. I'll start with Angel downtown. Angel, how's it going downtown? What do we got? What are we looking at? Oh, we're still muted. I didn't get you. We'll start with Jeff at Sand Lake. Jeff, how's it going at Sand Lake?
All right, I'm unmuted. So listen, everything's good here. I want to send a message out to our fellow retailers and consumers that are out there. You know, Tanya's talking a lot of the places that these orders are coming from, and I have a lot of relationships with fellow retailers. And I talk to people all over, consumers all over America, and you know, it's great what's going on here. People are smoking cigars and having fun, and we're open. I want to send a message to my fellow retailers out there that are still in shut down. And as businesses, this is really hard. And I just say, stay tough and weather this storm. And hopefully things will get back going up there. And then for our guys that, I see we got guys from Hawaii and other places. I know that like in consumers in Hawaii, things are rough, man. You can't even get out of the house over there. And so hopefully things will get straightened up there. And just remember, cigars are about the good life. That's what keeps us positive, and it's it's one of the simple pleasures in life. And so keep that brotherhood going. And lastly, I just want to give another shout out to our great team. Again, Corona Cigar is all about the team. So Tommy, Angel, Garrett, Braden, H, everybody, Matt. There's a lot of people that aren't on this. Kim, Tanya, everybody. We got a lot of great guys and great women, by the way. We have some really great women at Corona Cigar. And hats off to everybody. And thank you for what we do. Thanks for you are what makes the company, and our customers. It's all one big. I always say it's a circle of life, man. You got to have great suppliers, like Drew Estate. You got to have a great team, and you got to have great customers. And without that trilogy, none of this works. So thanks everybody. It's been a great show.
Yo, wait, whoa. Jeff, have you watched the Sticks and Sips?
Yeah, of course. I watched the last one where you had Simon with the Lefroy.
That's two back, bro. The Sticks and Sips. We have a special guest with us here tonight.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
I'm
Lurking
Jack.
in the corner.
Yeah,
My partner.
Listen, you need Joe. You need to talk to this guy. Make sure he gets that highlight on that Sticks and Sips. Because the Sticks and Sips, we got Frank here tonight, and it's a great program. It's so much fun. It's tonight has been from a fun standpoint, except we get busy. So, Frank, why don't you let Frank talk about that Sticks and Sips for a second also? Unmute his name.
Well, he's firmly muted. Hang on,
It's probably better that he's muted.
Yeah.
I think it's better that he's muted.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
He's unmuted now.
I
Go,
certainly
Frank.
appreciate that, man. So big shout out to my man Jeff and Angel and Tommy and every Corona, Tanya, H, everybody that's working hard, man. We are super honored to be hosting the big Year of the Rat launch. So we got our big team out here. We got Bird, we got On, we got Willie, we got some guy named
Sticks and Sips, bro.
Ryan and everything. But listen, Sticks and Sips on Wednesday, man. We're trying to bring a little bit of a weekly snapshot into our culture, into our cigars, into the booze, bringing you some really cool people, and even Joey's involved too. So even Joey. So
Even me
on, and every now and then JD pops on, and he takes over the show. So that's it's cool, man. But it's a great way to connect with everybody.
It's a fun happy hour, man. It's a fun happy hour. We get to shoot the shit. We get to have some good sticks, talk about some good spirits, and impart some knowledge onto some people, and acquire some ourselves. And
Joe,
it's like sitting at a bar, man.
Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. on Facebook.
Listen, Joe, we need to get those Metallica guys on there over there. That the dude Rob Dietrich, he's at Metallica the cigar, the
Lady, I'm seeing now. Tanya looks like she has assembled the entire warehouse team.
Yeah, let's give them a shout out because they're doing an amazing job.
Thank you guys so much for everything you're doing tonight.
Thanks, guys.
It's her birthday the other day.
I didn't see this.
Tanya, any last words?
I just like to say it was an amazing night. The staff have worked really, really well. The phones are still going. Please be patient. And thank you so much to Drew Estate. Thank you to all my crew here. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you guys so much in the warehouse for putting in the work and getting these guys cigars shipped. That's awesome.
Congrats, Tanya.
Back to
Amazing
work.
work.
Go sell more cigars. Thank
So
you.
I want to say something, big, you guys, Six and Sips doesn't happen without Jack Hare and Joe Gross. So, give it up for those guys that bring in the show every week, keeping it entertaining and making us relevant, in this thing. Jeff, you kind of like grabbed Simon before I could, so I'm going to give you credit on that. I tuned into that show, man. That was fantastic. I love Simon. And you got all those connects with those big booze guys, and I respect that, and getting that aspect of people getting connected to cigars, getting connected to Drew Estate cigars is a fantastic thing. So cheers to you, man. I've got just a little bit in the glass, but I will say cheers to everybody that jumped on. I know Willie's drinking Tanqueray tonight, so I'm going to call out Willie, because he hit me up. He always does. He's like, what should I be drinking tonight? And I'm like, dude, what recipe you got? I'm like, I got you, bro.
Hey,
so,
man, I gotta go to the master, man. I don't know anything about alcoholic beverages and cocktails, so I gotta go to the expert. So I hit you up every time I go into Total Wine, into one of these places. I'm like, okay, what do I need? So I gotta hit you up, man.
Well, listen, tune in to Sticks and Sips, and we'll get you what you need, man. We'll get you what you need. So with that, Jack, kudos to you, man. Kudos to Joe and the entire marketing team for making Sticks and Sips happen every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, man. You never know who pops in. We know Joey pops in. JD may pop in.
Start working on that dinner order, Frank. I'm thinking some more pork belly next week. But on behalf of everyone at Drew Estates and everyone at Corona Cigar, I wanted to thank everybody that tuned in both on Zoom and on Facebook. And what an amazing night! I am going to thank you all. There's still some kits to be sold, still some boxes available. Everybody that buys a box will get a Year of the Rat cigar. So use this as an opportunity to get your favorite Year of the Rat or your favorite Drew Estate cigar, and then also get a single of Year of the Rat and get this amazing toolkit that has so many goodies in it. But I wanted to thank everybody that tuned in across the board. And with that, good night, everyone. We're going to call it a night. So cheers to everybody that did this, Drew Estate and Corona Cigar. We love you guys all, and amazing job. So we will.
Thank you, Jack.
Hi, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you, Corona.
Thanks for a great night.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. Amazing. Great job.
Riddance.
You got it.